Hello guys and welcome back. This is part 2 of my 3-part video tutorials on makeup for mature skin, and today me and Allison are developing our look into day makeup look. Last time I showed a very thorough skin preparation before this look. If you haven't seen this video, I'm going to link it up above and in the description box below. And we are moving on straight into Beautiful Skin Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury, which is one of my favorite foundations for mature or dehydrated skin. Its hydrating formula is infused with hyaluronic acid and rose complex. This foundation is fantastic for moisturizing the skin, blurring the pores, and also leaves the skin more radiant. And this is exactly what we want with more mature or dry, dehydrated skin. And all of the preparation that we did beforehand will also help this foundation to blend into the skin better, sit on it better, and last longer. And as you can see, I'm applying it with the blending brush, and I find that this is one of the best ways of how to make this foundation blend into the skin more smoothly and seamlessly. So I will go over with the beauty blender after I have applied it, but this brush pretty much does most of the work for me. Next, I'm going to apply Banana Lowlighter from the brand RODIAL. And this is a hybrid product. It is 3-in-1: concealer, color corrector, and complexion enhancer. Sometimes I do use it as a concealer, but today I'm going to use it more like a lowlighter product. So I'm applying it all over the areas that I want to brighten and in a very fine layer. Then I'm pushing the product in with a beauty blender and moving on to concealer. Like this, Banana Lowlighter will peek from underneath the concealer and will brighten this area. So the concealer I chose is from Armani, and as you guys know, if you do watch my videos, this is one of my favorite concealers for dry or mature skin, as it creates a really beautiful reflective canvas underneath the eye area. And again, we need to be really careful in these areas and work in very fine layers. This is why I'm switching to wet beauty blender and pushing everything deeper into the skin. Next, I'm moving on to the eyes, and it is really important for me to prepare the eyelid, and I chose this anti-aging transparent Urban Decay primer, which improves the texture, smooths the appearance of the fine lines, and makes my further eyeshadow last longer. For the main eyeshadow, I'm going to use this Armani eye tint in the shade 45, which is very lightweight goldish kind of a shade. I really rate these eye tints from Armani. I have several shades of these in my kit, and I actually do use them often. One thing to mention though, that they are not waterproof, and to make them last longer you would need to apply them in a very fine layer and preferably over the eye primer. Next, I need to define the lash line using ILLAMASQUA coloring pencil in the shade Reveal. And to define the eyes, I need to pack it very close to the lash line. Sometimes I ask Allison to look right in front of her so I can gauge how much of the pencil I can apply. And as you can see, majority of it I concentrate on the 3/4 of the outer part of the eye. And of course, we need to blend it before we set it with the eyeshadow. So next, I'm setting it with the eyeshadow from the Lime Crime Venus Eye and Face palette, and this shade is named Aphrodite. Very beautiful aubergine kind of a shade, which is fantastic paired up with Allison's eye color. So this is just to duplicate and set the pencil that we have applied. But further, I want to intensify the lash line even more. So I'm stepping up in the color intensity and choosing this deep brown shade from Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, Soft Glam. This is wonderful basic color palette and I use it very often in my clients' work. So my goal here is to intensify the lash line, therefore I'm only concentrating these darker shade very close to the lashes. I don't need to change the aubergine shade, I just need to pack the color as close to the lash line as possible for the eyes to appear more defined. Next, I'm going to use this nude shade. I think it was from one of the Gary Cockrell's palette, but I'm not sure if this brand exists anymore. But you can take any other light nude shade to define the crease area. And you can see here, I'm lightly dusting the shade over 3/4 of the outer part of the eye. Such color placement will create an illusion of bigger and more defined eye. Next, I'm going to apply my favorite got2b brow gel and tame the brows a little bit. For this look, we're not going to change the shape drastically. We're just going to emphasize on Alison's natural brow shape. So I'm lightly dusting this color all over the brows in a diagonal shape and just placing them so they look a little bit more neat. Once the brow gel dries, I'm going over with Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo palette. Sorry guys, I have a full palette all to my disposal and I'm absolutely in love with it, as I can create any shades and any shapes of the eyebrows that I want. But this is a pro palette. You don't need to use the whole shebang. You can just get them individually depending on your brow color. So what I'm doing for Alison here is just lightly intensifying the brow shape using a very thin angled brush. For the lashes, I'm using my new YSL Lash Clash Extreme Volume Mascara in the shade Noir. This mascara is actually fantastic. There is plenty of product in that tub and it is also really volumizing mascara. You can see the difference already. I am absolutely rating it. I feel like when I'm working with more mature clients, it is less about a lot of eyeshadow and more about a lot of lash, and the lash gives us the main eye definition. Now we need to come back to complexion and add more color to the skin. So first I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury's Sun-Kissed Glow Cream Bronzer in the shade Medium, and I am going to go all over the contours of the face. Again, this is a bronzer, but Alison is very tanned as she lives by the beach. So she visits the coast very often. That's where she gets most of her suntan. And I need to match her face to the rest of the body. This is why instead of contouring product, I am selecting a bronzer, as this will tie in more in the color palette of Alison's skin. For the blush, I chose Laura Mercier's Tinted Moisturizer Blush in the shade Corsica. It is a beautiful peachy corally shade, and for Alison's tanned skin, it is a fantastic choice today. So I'm applying it on the apples of the cheeks and actually taking the product all the way up to the temple. Like this, I'm creating a more lifted appearance. So it's easy to remember, the higher you apply the blush, the more lifted the face will appear. I have completed my cream application and I'm going to move over to the powder products. First, I need to set under the eye area, and for this I am using Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder. This is fantastic powder and I can recommend it to everybody. It sets the foundation, it blurs imperfections, and it mattifies the skin. This is one of those unique formulas that suits everybody, every skin type and every age group. I just love this powder and use it very often. So under the eyes, I have concentrated the powder with fluffier, softer, and smaller brush, and all over the face, I am generously applying the powder with bigger brush. And once everything is set in place, I can duplicate the blusher with another powder, and this one is from Patrick Ta. This is She Is Blushing palette, which I absolutely adore. And as you can see, I love to pair it with Laura Mercier's Corsica cream blush. These two colors, they just go hand in hand. They look beautiful and complement each other. Next, I'm going to apply Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush Bronzer in the shade Medium all over the areas where the cream bronzer was applied earlier. So as usual, I'm going all over the areas that I have created with the cream, and I'm selecting a very similar shade in the powder. And what this will give me is more long wearing, more defined makeup. I wanted to continue the corally theme of this makeup look. So for the lips, I chose this Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner in the shade Sunbaked, which is fantastic corally shade. So for the mature makeup look, it is very important to line your lips first, and preferably with waterproof lip liner, because it's quite often that the lip products can bleed around the lip area, and to prevent it, we need to prepare the lip with something that is not going to move around. And if you don't have waterproof lip liner, you can make it more long wearing by slightly powdering it before you apply the lipstick. So for the lipstick, I chose today MAC Silky Matte lipstick in Velvet Teddy that I have applied all over the lip, and only in the middle of the pout I have concentrated a little bit of the Fenty Glass Bomb. Now I'm adding the finishing touches by applying the eye cheat on the waterline, and this will brighten up the eye area. And of course, we need to set everything in place, and for that I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's setting spray, which currently is my #1 and go-to for any events where I need the makeup to stay put all day or all night. So here is our before and after on this day look for mature skin. I am in love. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube tutorial as much as me and Allison enjoyed creating it for you. If you have any questions in regards to this look, please pop them in the comment section below, and I will make sure to get back to you. So there you go, guys. This is our second video on my 3-part video tutorials for mature skin. If you have not seen the first one, as I mentioned before, I'm going to pop all the links in the description box. And of course, I also will link all of the products used in this video in the description box as well. As usual, guys, one request from me to you, please leave a comment underneath this video how you received it. All of your comments count, and all of your comments are pushing my videos further to the wider audience. And here is a little preview of the look that is coming in the following weeks. We are going to change this day look into the evening look, so stay tuned. I cannot wait to share it with you.